Hey guys, what's going on? Alright, so during my hammock trip, you guys got to look at my alcohol stove. Now I got a lot of response about that. People wanted to see a little bit more of it. Now this is called a penny stove. I'll just show you what I have in my... This is my basic food bag, okay? It contains my stove, some food, some seasonings, things like that. And then if I'm going to bring anything extra, I put it in this one. So this is basically it. Nothing heavy. Even the fuel is in here. Now I haven't organized any of this since my last trip. I was going to do it tonight, so I figured there is no better time, I should say, than the present to organize it. And I can kind of take it all out and show you guys what I have in here. Then the other bag, it's just a black. I get these little Thai noodles, kind of like ramen noodles, but they're gluten-free. They use like a rice noodle. Great, you know, when it's cool out, you just want a quick soup with something light. And a couple of those. Carry a couple of these little hot sauce samplers. I love hot sauce, so this one here is Arizona Gunslinger and Arizona Gunslinger. Oh, this one's a green jalapeno and this one's a chipotle habanero. Oatmeal. I always have oatmeal for breakfast, especially on the cooler days. I have some walnuts here to put in it. I might put some dried apples, blueberries, or strawberries in here as well. But that's one breakfast right there. 2 packets of oatmeal and some nuts and fruit of some sort. Oh, here's the dehydrated strawberries. I showed you those in the dehydrating video. But might as well have a snack now. So that just goes in this little canvas bag or nylon bag. And I change it up. You know, whatever I feel like eating that day, or depending on how long I'm going for, I put different things in here. Blocks. You know, these things here, these little gravy packs, great for making, you know, gravy. You can actually use them for a soup base as well. If you want to have like a soup, you make it sort of like a stew, but a little more watery. You know, you can make a decent soup out of these gravy packs. So I always have a couple of these with me, as well as the hot chocolate packs or some sort of sweet comfort food kind of drink, hot drink. You know, when you're out there, especially by yourself for several days at a time, in the middle of the night, you know, it's dark, you got a small fire going, you don't feel like cutting much more firewood, and you want to have something hot, something just to warm the soul. You know, these are great. Things like this, hot chocolate, mocha, cappuccinos, whatever it might be, having that before you go to bed or just before you read for a while, you know, it kind of settles you down. I always have something like that as well in my pack. Cough drops, a couple lollipops, you know, little dum-dums, and a couple mints as well. You know, these little peppermint candies, great for upset stomachs, things like that. You know, the peppermint helps soothe the stomach, indigestion, whatever the case may be. My fuel. Now, for all my meals, when I went backpacking, I used less than a half of this bottle. Now, I've been using this bottle for years. I just refill it. I buy, the cap broke, so I just used a piece of plastic and screwed it back on to seal it, but I buy these large things of 70% isopropyl alcohol. They come in a 2-pack at Sam's Club for about $3.50. So you get 64 ounces of fuel for about $3. Pretty awesome deal. Okay, so back to the stove. We'll use the isopropyl. Now the isopropyl alcohol, rubbing alcohol, burns a little dirtier. It's a little sootier than, say, heat or denatured alcohol, anything like that. But, you know something? Okay, so the bottom of my pan gets a little black. I don't care. It doesn't bother me that much. You know something? I cook over the fire or the coals sometimes. It's going to get black no matter what. If I pick up some if I pick up some heat or denatured alcohol from, Home Depot or Lowe's, I'll use that as well. But I have like 6 bottles of this stuff. Actually, probably more than 6 bottles. So I use that. The stand, I just bent a couple pieces of 5/16, might be smaller, 1/8 inch, I don't know, pieces of stainless steel, and I just wound them with a little bit of wire, a little baling wire, fine baling wire. Even the baling wire will have a purpose if I should need it. I know it's there. And that's my stand. Now this will stick into the ground so I can change the temperature that I want depending on what I'm cooking. By just pushing, hammering this down with a rock or something into the ground brings the flame closer or further away from the pot. And the pot just sits on here like that. Now the stove inside the pot here, now the pot is a Heineken keg can. Way back, I don't know, a few years ago, you were able to buy Kingers, these big beers, in these keg cans. And everybody, they were very strong. They were, compared to a regular tin can, they were much stronger. So a lot of people used them as their pots. If you do a search on Google, you'll see a bunch of these. Let's put this aside. Now the stove. This is called the penny stove. And the reason why it's called the penny stove is inside there's a penny. Now this one, oops. Not sure of the date. It's not a wheat cent though. Sorry, Jen. I got the design, so I'm not going to take credit for this. I was on YouTube looking at backpacking stoves, stuff like that, and how to make one. And then I saw one of these, and I said, I have to make a couple of those. So I did, and I gave some away as gifts. But this was the first one I made. It always worked great for me. The only thing is I have lost the penny a couple times, so I keep a couple extra pennies in my pack, the pack of stuff I have here. What the penny does, there's a couple holes in here. The penny allows it to pressurize. The penny sits right in the bottom. And what you do, now I just have a bamboo cutting board here. This is just a lid. It's another bottom of a beer can that I put a little piece of the baling wire through to give me a little handle. And it just is a snuffer to put out the flame if I should need to put it out. And then this ring here sits on top. And that's called a simmer ring. And what that does is it reduces the intensity of the flame. I don't use it much. So we put about 1 ounce of alcohol in. And you just wait until it kind of drains down in to see how much you need. But you want at least 1 ounce. You want to give it a good amount. Okay, and you can see it just go whoosh, soaks right in. Probably not quite 1 ounce, but I don't need a full burn. I'm just doing a test to show you guys. I'll turn out the lights and you can actually see it. So before I light it, let me bring the camera over and actually give you a close-up of what the stove looks like. Alright, so as you can see, it's made out of beer cans. There's 2 bottoms of the beer can, one cut a little shorter than the other, pressed in together. I have these small holes drilled around the edge. And then behind the penny, I don't know if you can, I already put the fuel in, like a bonehead. There's 3 holes drilled in the center, and the penny goes over those 3 holes. Okay? And then what you do is you just light it. And I just heat it up a little bit. Now they have what they call a primer pan that goes underneath. This stove, I've never had to use it, so I don't carry it anymore. If I do have a hard time lighting the stove and I need a primer pan, I just use a little bit of the foil. Alright, so let's change the camera here and we'll turn out the lights and we'll show you what it looks like while it's burning. Alright, so as you see, the individual jets now that it's heating up, it's actually vaporizing the alcohol, pressurizing the stove, and causing it to push through the individual holes that I drilled in. That's what gives you the actual jets. If I move the penny out of the way, you'll actually get some flames out of the center. But we like to keep it in the center because you want to keep that pressure. And there's a good amount of heat coming off that. The stand would go on just like that. And you would put your pot right on top. The stove's a little far away from the pot because I'm not on dirt. I can't push it in. But normally it'd be, ooh, that's hot, more like that. Generally speaking, 1 ounce of alcohol is usually enough to boil the water. Now this will burn for, I don't even know how long actually, how many minutes it'll burn. Like I said, I can fill this up with water and boil it and still have time left over on about 1 ounce to 1.5 ounces of alcohol, rubbing alcohol. You see how there's some yellow tips to the flames? That's generally because it's isopropyl alcohol. If I was using denatured alcohol or heat methyl alcohol, it would be more of a blue flame and it would burn cleaner. But like I said before, this is what I use. You know, it's fine. I'm not worried about the soot in the bottom of the pan. That doesn't bother me. If I want to put it out, you can just go right over with the lid and we'll let that burn. Now this is just a quick outlook at what my stove is and what I carry, what I have in my pack when I go hammock camping. And it changes constantly. Like even when I put all this back together again, I might change a few things around. Later on in another video when we're actually outside in the woods, I'll show you guys how I actually make different meals using the dehydrated dishes that we put together ahead of time. Videos going forward, I don't know exactly when, but as I do them, I'll try to share them with you on how I actually do the cooking, put it all together, and have full meals out on the trail. So there you have it. I know it's not a in-depth look at what the stove is or what's going on. It's just kind of an overview, but kind of gives you an idea. So if I ever do a quick video, a cup of coffee or something using it, you guys might have watched this video and got an idea of what I'm doing. I showed it on my hammock camping videos, but I didn't really go into depths on how it worked. They're making all sorts of new ones now, all different types, but this has always been my favorite. It gives off a tremendous amount of heat. It's efficient, it's light, free to make. I mean, it really only cost me, 16 cents, 15 cents in the returnable cans, and the 1 penny that's in the center. Some time, a pair of scissors, a thumbtack even. It's all you really need to make something like this. Thanks for watching. Any questions, let me know. I don't know. Guess that's it. Alright guys, be safe traveling the tube. Get out there, enjoy some of nature. It's beautiful out there, guys. Seriously. Alright. Talk to you soon.